Water resource management is a wicked problem. Wicked problems are social or cultural issues that are difficult to address because of their complexity. They're hard to define, snarled with incomplete or contradictory information, fraught with unintended consequences. The solutions seem to come with big price tags, not helpful, and generally they involve changing behavior, which is never easy. And wicked problems are generally intertwined with other, often equally wicked problems. Sounds impossible. About 10 years ago, a large dairy operation was proposed for Joe Davis County. The project was controversial, and part of the debate centered on concerns about water quality. Though not built, the proposed project made it clear that we needed to have a thoughtful discussion about our water resources and how best to manage them. We found no easy how-to manual, but our local league decided to dive in anyway. And so, along with our other fellow residents, we've embarked on a voyage of discovery. A deceptively simple process, in hindsight, of shared learning followed by action and assessment is allowing us to move forward. I say deceptively simple because juggling all the moving parts requires persistent energy. From 2014 to 2016, our league facilitated a countywide water resource management planning effort. 20 people from a broad range of perspectives and expertise came together to discuss water resources in our area. We used the planning process as a place to have a thoughtful conversation and to come to consensus on a path forward. Our discussions encompass both the county and the Apple Plum watershed in which it is nestled. The shaded area is Joe Davis County, Illinois, the Mississippi River and Iowa are to the west, and Wisconsin to the north. In the end, the planning committee members agreed on 3 broad goals, a menu of possible best management practices, an action plan, and a reference workbook. This plan and the relationships formed during the planning process have been the foundation for our ongoing local work. Each of our planning committee members agreed early on that we wanted to come up with recommendations for stewardship of our water resources that were based on sound science. This became the framework that allowed us to sort through available information and assess it critically, and to ask questions that could be answered through ongoing experimentation. Shown here are Prairie Research Institute scientists that worked with us preserving spring samples that they took to establish the current groundwater chemistry of our area. We did this as a baseline that we could reference later and that we could look at trends over time. And if there was a situation in the county where the levels were higher than that area, we had something to reference. We continue to rely on science as we proceed. We're analyzing surface water, springs, and wells to better understand contaminant sources and levels, looking at nutrients, pharmaceutical and personal care products, and microplastics. We're systematically documenting crevices, springs, caves, and sinkholes, and compiling them in a county karst feature database. The green lines in this picture are alfalfa that's deep roots have made it into the crevices, so it showed a picture of our fractured bedrock. As we gather and agree on information, it's important to make that information more widely available for consideration by others. After completing the countywide plan, the league partnered with the Galena Rotary Club to put on a day-long conference, Water, We're All in the Same Boat. We recruited presenters who had helped inform our planning discussions, and we showcased local water projects. We've been promoting the Rotary League collaboration as a model for water resource management work in the upper Mississippi River region. Shown here are a rain simulator and the watershed game. We have found these to be useful tools for shared learning. The rain simulator does a great job demonstrating comparative infiltration and runoff rates for different land uses. In the watershed game, people play on teams representing various land uses and work together to reduce phosphorus or sediment loads in the watershed. We've purchased games and have trained facilitators to run the game in our county. One of the action items specified in the countywide plan was to select a sub-watershed area for more detailed study and for project planning. The lower Galena River Watershed was selected, and we will be completing this 2-year effort in September. This shared learning process has focused our concern on sedimentation, and we have learned that the majority, probably 60 to 80% of the problem, is legacy sediment deposited in the river valleys before conservation practices were widely adopted. A farmer-led group was formed in the Galena area to address water quality issues related to agriculture. This group has identified no-till and cover crops as the best management practices they wanted incorporated into our Galena River watershed-based plan. Working with grant funding obtained by the League, The farmers are planning educational events on soil health and water quality issues. Recently, this Galena area group has begun to evolve into a county-wide entity. Some might say that the League of Women Voters structure and approach works like magic on wicked problems. On the best of days, it may even seem like we're able to spin straw into gold. But I prefer this quote from John Schultz. John is a lifelong farmer in our county, retired math and science teacher, township official, county board member, and has served on the County Farm Bureau Board for 32 years. Thank you.